Okay, now let's look at question number 4. Question number 4 में क्या बोल रहे हैं? Find which one is consistent and if so then find the solution graphically. So we have been given some pair of linear equations और हमें ये पता लगाना है कि कौन सी pair of linear equations इन 4 examples में से 4 सब questions में से consistent है and if it is consistent then we need to find out the solution graphically. तो पहली equations को देख लेते हैं and we can simplify it, can write it like -5 equals 0 and second, this is first equation. Second equation 2x plus 2y minus 10 equals 0, right? So if we write a1 is 1, b1 is 1 and c1 is -5. We don't even need to find out c1 upon c2 because we just need to find out if it is consistent or not. So a2 would be 2, b2 would be 2, right? So if we see a1 by a2 would be 1 by 2 and b1 by b2 would be 1 by 2. So a1 by a2 would be 1 by 2 and b1 by b2 would be 1 by 2 because a1 upon a2 equals b1 upon b2. So these two equations are not consistent. So if these are not consistent, we do not need to find out or draw them graphically, right? Now let's look at the second question. So we will simplify it. X minus y minus 8 equals 0, first equation. Second equation would be 3x minus 3y minus 16 equals 0. What we have done, we have taken 8 to the left side becomes -8, 16 to the left side becomes -16. So a1 equals 1, b1 equals -1 and c1 equals -8. Here a2 equals 3, b2 equals -3 and c2 equals -16. So a1 by a2 would be 1 by 3 and b1 by b2 would be -1 by -3, which is 1 by 3. So a1 by a2 is equals to b1 upon b2. So again these two equations are not consistent. तो अगर ये consistent नहीं है तो we do not need to find out the solution graphically, right? Now let's look at the third sub question. So this is the third question. And if we say 2x plus y minus 6 equals 0 is our first equation. And if you see here, 4x minus 2y minus 4 equals 0. Can we write it down like this? We can take common 2 and say 2x minus y minus 2 equals 0. And if it goes cross multiplication method, right? So this equation will be simplified to 2x minus y minus 2 equals 0. So this is second. So if we see a1 by a2 would be a1 is 2, a2 is 2, right? So it is 1. And b1 by b2 would be b1 is 1 and b2 is -1, right? So a1 by a2 is not equals to b1 by b2. So these two equations are consistent. Consistent means they will be one answer, right? So these two lines, when you draw them graphically, will intersect at a point. So to find out the solution graphically, let's find out the value of y. So when you write y, it will and take the 2x minus 6 on the right side. So it will be minus 2x plus 6, right? And this equation, so if you take y on the right side, it will become 2x minus 2 equals y, or you can say y equals 2x minus 2. So now these are your new equations. So I would say equation 1 and equation 2. So we'll draw a table to find out the values of x and y, because we at least need 2 points, right, to draw a line. So if we put value, let's say x value 2 here, so 2 to the 4, then y will become 6 minus 2 to ja 4, minus 4 plus 6 is 2. And if we plot value x equals 3, then y becomes 0, right? Similarly, if we calculate x and y values, so if we put x equals 1, then y becomes 0, 2 1 ja 2 minus 2 0, right? And if we put y equals x equals 2, then this will be 2 by 2 4 minus 2 is 2, right? Before even I draw them on graph, you can see 2 2 is the solution, right? And this is my advice to you, try to figure out the solution before even you draw them on the graph. I'm not saying if you want to practice it at home, आप ग्राफ को ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं, accurately try to find out on the graph, but when you are actually attempting the question in the examination, you do not have sufficient time. You can still draw, you still need to draw it on the graph, but my advice is to calculate them algebraically to find out the solution. But leave it apart, it is just an advice. Okay, so this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. और अगर हम इसे ड्रॉ करेंगे तो ऑन द ग्राफ दिस विल बी 0 1 2 3 4. दिस इज एक्स एक्सिस, दिस इज नेगेटिव एक्स एक्सिस, -1 -2 -3 -4. This will be -1 -2 -3. This will be 1 2 3. The y-axis, this is negative y-axis. So 2 2 2 2 will be on the positive direction, you will go 2 and then 2 on the right side, upside, so this will be 0.22 and then 3 0. So on the x-axis you move 3 points and then y-axis 0, so this is your 3 0. And now you have got 2 points, so you can draw your line, right? So it will come like this. This is your line. Okay, so this is the line for equation 1. Now let's draw it for equation 2, right? So to draw it for equation 2, what you need to do is you need to find out 1 comma 0. So on x-axis we'll go 1 and comma 0, so this will be your point. And then second point is 2 2, so we will go 2 and then 2, right? So this will be your point 2 2, because this same point exists on both lines, so we'll just draw this line like this. This is your second line, sorry about this, but they are intersecting here, right? In the exam you won't be drawing them with the hands, you would use your tools. So this is your answer, and you have seen this. What we have done here, we simplified the equations first, then we calculated x and y coordinates, and then we drew them graphically, and graphically we can see 2 comma 2 is the solution. So x value 2 and y value 2. Now let's look at the next question. तो अगर आप अपने नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में देखेंगे तो यहाँ पर वो इन लोग क्वेश्चन में 2 इक्वेशंस दी गई हैं. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ व्हाट वी नीड टू डू, हम कैलकुलेट करेंगे a1 is 2, b1 is -2, and a2 is 4 here and b2 is -4. और आपको पता है हम इन्हें a1 a2 b1 b2 क्यों बोल रहे हैं, क्योंकि लीनियर इक्वेशन को हम इस फॉर्म में भी इस फॉर्म में लिखते हैं, राइट? a2x plus b2y plus c2 equals 0. तो अगर हम कहें a1 upon a2, that will come 2 upon 4, which is 1 upon 2. And if we'll say b1 upon b2, that will be -2 upon -4, minus cancel, this will be 1 upon 2. And now because a1 upon a2 equals b1 upon b2, so these two pair of linear equations are not consistent. So if these are not consistent, we are not going to draw them graphically, right? So this is about your question number 4. We attempted all 4 or 5 questions here, sub questions here. Okay, now let's look at the next question.